All right, good morning or evening, ladies and gentlemen, depending on where you are. This is another session of the MCANA webinar series for the residency match. And I'm Dr. Markan, and we have our esteemed guest, Dr. Shahram Maroof, who will be involved in the residency program in his location. Dr. Shahram, can you provide a brief introduction of yourself?
Definitely. Assalamu alaikum, everyone, and good morning and good afternoon, wherever you guys are, or good evening. My name is Shahram Maroof. I'm a primary critical care attending at Carl Medical Hospital, Carl Foundation Hospital, and Carl Illinois Medical College here in Urbana-Champaign in the state of Illinois. We've been involved in this mentorship series for our juniors, and I'm fortunate that we've been doing this for many years now. Um, and I'm glad that I can be of any help to you guys. So I'm always available to help you whenever it's needed.
All right, great. So this session is going to be on the rank order list, and it is a relatively simple topic, but however, people are, of course, they need to be sure about what they want to do and what they need to do. And we'll go over a few important questions, such as the primary list, and there's a supplemental list, then how you should be ranking your list, which program you should rank higher, and on what basis you should rank higher, and what options and what thoughts you should have in mind when you are looking at this. And a question a lot of people ask are, okay, should you be contacting programs during this process? So we'll look to dive into some of these questions. And Dr. Sharam, let's start off with what is a rack on order list for this for the residency match? What is this?
So a little bit of overview of our topic today. So basically, our goal today is that we want to have this interactive session. We have done this rank order list, webinars in the past as well, and you guys are well aware of most of the aspects of it. But the goal is that we can have as much questions as we can have, and we can answer your questions live and directly personalized questions. But going over what rank order list is, there are some myths about this rank order list historically, but over the past few years, I think more and more of the candidates are well aware of this process now. In summary, basically, what it is that you are ranked based on your preference, and it is matched with the preference of your programs, but it is candidate oriented. So your rank order list, you will be ranked based on your rank. So basically, candidates get preference. So if you like a program, let's give you an example. If you like a program, let's say XYZ, and you like the program X, you get the first chance that if the program X likes you, you will be matched there. It's not the other way around. The program doesn't get the first bit or the first pickup. You get to pick what program you like. So it's basically based on your preference. But if you don't like program X, but let's say if you like program X and you didn't get matched there, then the program goes to your Y list. And if if let's say if you like program Y, you'll get matched there. But some people have this idea that if let's say I ranked that program lower and I didn't get matched because that program liked me and I ranked them lower. No, it doesn't happen. If you are among their top choices, as long as you have ranked them, even if you have ranked them 20th on your list, you'll still get matched there. So our goal is to explain to you guys that please make sure that you rank your programs based on what you like, and forget about what programs are going to rank you. Even if they're going to rank you at 100th place, doesn't matter. You rank your program based on what you like. And we'll go into the details about what are the aspects that we should look for while we're ranking the programs.
All right. So is there a reason why you should not rank a program?
Reason you do not want to rank a program is there are some programs who are malignant, and we have an idea about what programs we're talking about. And what happens is that if you go into one of those programs and it has a bad track record, and you get don't end up getting, let's say, don't get up doing well in that program, and then they kick you out of a program, it gets a little harder to match there at that point afterwards, like get a PGY2 position or even a PGY1 position, because once you are kicked out of a program. But it happens very rarely. For IMGs, I honestly, apart from that, but that one off chance that a program is malignant and has special bias against the IMGs, I wouldn't advise anyone to not rank a program. I would rank any program that I get an interview to.
Exactly. So if you are an IMG and you are cash strapped and your goal is to match, and of course you've come here after spending so much money, um, you know, there could be tough programs, but we've all faced tough situations in Pakistan. If anybody did a residency, यानी कि house job वगैरह या MOSHIP वगैरह किसी ने की है, so there's going to be some issues everywhere, and nothing's going to be a bed of roses. And then residency is supposed to be a hard training environment. So, but of course, everybody can decide, everybody can do and make their life or their surroundings as good as how they can improve these themselves. I have a question from Zenith. Um, how it looks as average rank list for program? How many candidates they rank? Okay, so basically, she's asking that how many programs should you rank?
She's asking from a perspective of the programs, right? She's asking like how many candidates do they rank, right? How it looks as average rank list for programs. So average rank list for programs, if I may answer, it depends on how many candidates they have. For example, if you have a residency program who has 30 spots, let's say you have 30 spots, you on average would rank more than, let's say, 200 or more than 250, because you're planning on matching 30 candidates, right? And it also depends on what's the prestige of the program is like and what's their history is like. For example, I've known programs who get matched every year, and and based on where they ranked last. For example, I'll give you examples of the fellowship programs. For example, in the last fellowship programs, we used to get ranked within like first 30. We had within first 20. So our program directors started doing less and less. Like they would rank less and less candidates, because you're going to get matched within the first 20. Similar for the residencies over here in this residency programs. Over the last few years, I think we have decreased some numbers, but because it was Zoom interviews over the last few years, so we have kept our numbers rigid. Like these are the number of candidates we're going to rank, because you never know in the Zoom interviews, some of the candidates, like some other programs, for example, AMGs and things like that. So in the past few years, we haven't been decreasing the number of the candidates that we are ranking. But generally speaking, it depends on your spots, depends on your history, and depends if in the past you have had some unmatched seats.
Okay, great. So depends how good the program is, and everybody
Yeah.
knows um, a program that is fresh and new, they will look to rank a lot more candidates if they really want to fill up all their spots. But the main takeaway or the main discussion that we had so far is that you should rank based on your preference. It's weighted towards you. If you think that this program is the best program that you want, based on different factors, maybe geography, maybe the expenses of that location, maybe the fellowship opportunities in that area, or just like the vibe when you had your interview, you pick out the best program and go with that. You have to make your list for you.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what the deal is.
So
Um,
we can go over some of the points for the rank over list, if you want.
yeah, please. What should they be considering
So
while deciding about on their list?
yeah, so some of the things that historically we know of, like, are the most important things. For example, one is the visa status, right? So what kind of visa program is offering? um, Historically speaking, there used to be three options. There used to be a lot of programs that would offer H1, and there used to be a lot of programs that were offered J1, and there were few programs who would offer H1, but they kind of give you a green light that they're going to file for your green card too. So in some programs, you actually could get green card within few years time. So that was the golden opportunity for the people, uh, but that's in the past. At present, right now, most programs are only offering J1. So H1 is almost out of the picture. over the last few years, we have seen steadily that most programs that were even offering H1 in the past, they're not offering H1B anymore. So most programs are J1. If you still have interviews from a program who offers H1B, my personal opinion would be to go for it. Again, there is a catch. Sometimes what happens is that program is saying that they can offer H1B, but the actual circumstances on the ground don't actually let them offer the H1B, and they end up changing it to J1B. But again, as long as it's a decent program, personally speaking, I would favor H1B and go for it. And because right now the visa situations and everything you guys are all aware of. So that's number one factor, in my opinion, in my books. Number two factor is the fellowship opportunities. What is the track record for the program for in-house fellowships as well as fellowships that can be obtained based, in other programs, but they're basically based on the prestige of the program. So if the program, if you're looking for fellowship in future, and if the program has good in-house fellowships, I would rank that program. I would rank that program higher, and especially if they have a record of taking one or two candidates into their fellowships in-house. I would definitely rank that program higher because that automatically increases your chances of matching in fellowship, when you graduate. But there's some programs who don't have that many in-house fellowships, but they have a very good track record of getting their candidates matched into good fellowships. Those would be second in my list. And how do you know how does that make a difference? The programs that have good track records of getting their residents matched into fellowships, it's not just because of the capabilities of the residents. Of course, as a resident, you have to work hard to get fellowship, but some of the programs actually really push for the candidates. So the program director would write letters, good letters for the residents so they can match into good fellowship programs. So those programs that have good fellowship match rate have actually been because of their administration, their program director, and their associate and assistant program directors really pushing for their candidates to get matched. Even though they may be community programs, but their program directors are really active in getting their in voicing their support for their residents. That's number two. Number three that we can think about is geographical location, right? So if you have family that is, let's say, in East or Midwest, you would like to stay close to your family. So that's one thing that you can consider while going. And some people, there's another. The fourth point would be, maybe it's higher on some people's list, is if their spouse is getting is applying for fellowship or for residency or not. For example, if their spouse is already in a program, they would want to rank that program higher. Or if their spouse is applying next year, they would want to rank the programs higher who are historically friendly towards spouses. For example, there's so many programs in the US who have a good couples match rate. With couples match rate, I mean, don't mean to say couples match rate in the same year, because most of the times for the IMGs to match as a couple is difficult. But there's so many programs who actually have a good track record of getting spouses. For example, even in my program, we historically we try to offer good couples match. Once we have already have a resident in our program and he's doing really good, we do consider it as a as a plus point for that candidate. So those are the things. And at the very last, I would say the financial aspect of it. For some people it would be more important than other people. Again, you have to choose your own. You have to choose what's more important for you. But there is discrepancy about salaries and cost of living. For example, if you look at just the resident salaries throughout the US, you can see there's difference. For example, New York has on an average of 10,000 more, as when I last looked. On average, the programs in New York pay you $10,000 more per year on
But they're
average.
but
But the
they're
cost of exactly
yes.
yeah, but the cost of living is actually even higher than that. So that's one aspect that you should think about, like where are you going and what's the cost of living in that area. For example, if you have a program which is a small community program, and and your cost of living is going to be less. For some people, it may be very, very important because they want to support their families. And secondly, some programs do offer subsidized housing. For example, I know there are some very prestigious programs who offer subsidized housing, and you can get apartments in $600, right? $700, you get an apartment. So that becomes very cost effective. So that's something that you should consider as well. So those are, in my mind, those are some of the biggest factors that you should consider about. And again, it could be your preference. Maybe the cost aspect is more important for you, and maybe a fellowship aspect is more important for you. Maybe getting your spouse matched into a program is more important for you. That's what you have to decide. But those are the factors that I would think about. For example, if you are applying as a couple, and one of you is applying now, and that person has stellar CV, for example, numbers is more than 250, 260s, and your spouse has, let's say numbers in 240s or 230s. I'm just giving you an example. And you both of you want to be matched, right? You may be offered matching into better programs than you would get as a couple. So what I would say is that you should think about the program that is later going to give residency to your spouse as well, right? If the chances of your spouse getting matched into your program are less because his or her marks are, let's say, 10-20% below your marks, then that's one factor you should consider ranking while you're finalizing your rank list.
Okay.
Now we'll,
All right, that's good. So as an IMG, I think it's very important that you rank every single program, don't miss out on any program, and a couple of things that you have to look at from your own perspective. Um,
yes.
one question, um, uh, if you have a communication with a program and they're saying that they're going to rank you higher, is that reasonable to consider that's correct or that may
That
not?
is that is reasonable to find it correct, because it may be like it's just a very small community program. That's a new program that's reaching out to you, and there's reaching out to all the programs, and he's just saying, okay, we're gonna send out emails to all the programs. But generally speaking, decent programs don't just send you emails saying that we're gonna rank you high. And the trend of sending you emails that we're gonna rank you high is getting low and low. Most of the programs don't send you emails like that.
Right. So if somebody does send you a
It's a
message,
good sign.
it's
It's
it's a good sign. And um, in that sense, do you rank that program higher on your list, or you just keep that program where you actually feel that that program should be ranking based on your own preference?
I wouldn't change a thing. I would still rank the program. If the program is, let's say, low on my list, I will keep it low on my list, because that should be a cushion for me. If you really think you're going to get matched there, that's great. But you have a chance to get matched at a higher program. Again, you are not going to lose your spot in that program just because you rank the program low. You might be ranked in a higher program.
So basically, if a program says they're going to be ranking you higher,
Mm.
and if you don't feel that is your best choice, you just keep it at the choice at the third,
Yes,
fourth choice, down on your list. But make sure you put it on your list. Don't let it go. That's a takeaway for this question. Right. Okay. All right. Any
definitely.
questions that anybody has in their mind regarding the rank order list? One question is, are you able to change your rank order list?
If you have, if you put the rank on the list before the deadline is over, then yes, you can. But once the deadline is passed, then you cannot.
Right. And I believe there's a supplemental list if you have more than 20 programs. If you have lucky enough to have a lot of interviews, there's a possibility you can apply for more programs.
Yes,
But I think there's an additional fee for that.
yes.
Right, right, right. So yeah, hopefully most people you'll be lucky if you had more than 20 pro interviews, but there are candidates who do get certain interviews. Okay, great, great, great. All right, we can probably sum it up unless somebody has any further questions. Um, Sum it up about the rank order list, that it is highly important that you make sure it is based on your preference, and of course you have to look at each and every detail. The issue for IMGs is the visa. That is, of course, very important, and Dr. Shahram has highlighted that in detail. So keep that in mind. Then, of course, the location and the expenses of that area. And you already have a spouse, then that also. How about if both, it's this, what is it called that? Spouse match, when two people are applying at this in the
Couples
same
match, couples match.
couples match, right? Right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So if you're, generally speaking, I advise against applying as a couple, honestly, because the chances of you getting matched as a couple as an IMG in US is is very low, unless both of you are excellent candidates and you have some link in that program, or even if you're a good candidate and you have some link in the program and you feel confident that that program likes both of you and going to hire both of you. But generally speaking, as an IMG, again, all of this is like our personal suggestions. You guys again can choose whatever you want to do. Generally what we do is, like, what I recommend is, like, one of you applies, and if one of you can apply in the next year, or even if you apply, you can apply separately and rank those programs higher. The ones that both of you got interviews in, you rank both of those programs higher, and then hope and pray and wish that you get matched in the same program, or at least. So I would start with ranking those programs who are in the same city or in the same program. Then I would rank the programs who are in the same city in the same state. Uh, Again, it depends on your preference, how important it is for you to match in the same year, versus are you willing to live separately for the 3 years in your residency. So that's like a whole separate topic about couples match. If any of you have applied as couples, then we can delve more into it, but that's like a full separate topic that we should discuss. If you have applied as a couples match, that there are certain things that you should look for, as you talked about, like same program, same state, same city, same state, and then what are the closest states that are there. But if you have applied for a couples match already, then yeah, rank your programs highest who have liked both of you together.
Okay. So should candidates message programs right now that, hey, I am putting you at the top of my list, and express your interest based on your academics, your fellowship opportunities, or the right visa for your needs? Should you be expressing your interest during this stage?
Definitely. And again, that message should be very personalized. It should not be that's like the biggest blunder you can commit at this stage is like send them a blank, a generic message that I like your program. Be very specific. What were the things that you liked about the program, and why that program is a good fit for you? It cannot be a same message that you send to everyone. So if someone is doing this is like a big blunder, I would say. If you don't have time, you all have time, of course you can email, but if you don't have time, don't email. But otherwise, do a little bit of research. Who are the people that you interviewed with? You should know those people, and you should say, hey, I interviewed this program and I was lucky to get an interview in this program. Those are the people that I interviewed with. I liked all of them, and those are the things that I loved about the program. And based on those things, I think I'm a very good fit for your program, and I think your program is and it will be an honor for me to match in this program. So I'm looking forward to the match result. I just want to let you know that I'm looking forward to the match results, and I'm really hoping that I get matched in your program. And you don't really have to say that's my top preference. If it's your top preference, you can say it's your top preference. If it's not your top preference, you're not lying by saying that you'll be honored, or it will be a good thing for you to match into the program, right? So you're applying in a US residency. All of the programs are good programs, so you'll be lucky to match into any program. So it's not lying if you say that I'll be lucky to be part of your program, right? What do you say, Dr. Khan?
No, I think I think as an IMG, and you should send a message to every program that you are ranking
Yes.
them at the top of the list, and but you will give the reasons as you have so eloquently described, because who knows, the person will say, okay, he likes me. Let
Yeah.
me just put
Again,
it.
you can word it in a way that you don't have to say top value. It's not your top, just because just to be, I don't want to propagate saying, because
Yeah.
you can word it in a way that I would be lucky in your program, right? If you're lucky in your program, you're showing enthusiasm, you like the program, you're lucky to be in the program. If it's actually your top program, you can say, yeah, it will be my top program.
Right. Okay. And one thing is, you have to do this right, as Dr. Sharon was suggesting. You just can't have, a generic message, and they can find out if it is a copy paste message. They can easily, it's very obvious. And the other thing is, your English has to be correct. And these days, there's no excuse that you cannot plug in your message into ChatGPT and say, hey, please fix any grammatical errors. And this is not Pakistan anymore, where we're writing, instead of writing YOU, you're writing just a U. Or don't look at the capital and lowercase. Don't put in quotations properly. Don't put the full stop after a sentence properly. So you really have to be, it's very, very easy to give a good impression regarding your English capabilities. And there's no room for a poorly drafted message, poorly composed, poorly formatted. It has to be the proper formatting with any of the messages that you send. So just be very, very careful with these things. And they're getting like 200 messages a day, and they're like humans. And if they see somebody, oh, this person did not even take two seconds to make it a personal message for me, then it's going to be very difficult. Um, yeah, but okay, so yeah, there are two comments here on and a comment by Nasir Hamid. Please avoid using ChatGPT language, but email should look natural and personalized. Exactly. You should not tell ChatGPT to write the message. You should write your message yourself and then post it into ChatGPT to fix grammatical errors and formatting. That's what you should do, because your message is going to be personal, but it will fix your English for you. But don't tell ChatGPT to write the message for you. No. Um, Mahavir has a question. When should we submit ROL? Should we submit it before deadline? And when do most programs submit their ROL? And does sending um, LOI help? Letter of interest. Okay, I think we
Yeah,
talked about the letter of interest. So
yeah,
just to go over this question that he asked. For example, if you plug this into ChatGPT, ChatGPT will fix your grammatical issues, right? So the way it will do it is, when should we submit our rank order list? Should we submit it before the deadline? And when do most programs submit their rank order list? So these small S's here and there, the use of these propositions, um, they need to be accurate. So ChatGPT will basically fix those, and you will look much better than people who don't use it. So that's so yeah. So when should we submit? I think we talked about it a little bit, but just to readdress, when should we submit our rank order list?
once you're certain that you have made up your mind that these are your rank order list, you can submit it anytime. That does not make any difference, as long as you submit it before the deadline. That does not make any difference.
Right. One thought is, don't wait for the last 2 days to start thinking about it. Think about it much before, at least the week before. You should have your list ready so that you're not panicking and you don't make the wrong decision at the end, at the last minute. So make sure you have planned your list out at least a week before, so you're not scrambling to see, okay, how should I rank this list? So make sure you are you're on top of it much before. Otherwise, at the end, you may end up messing up your preferences. But that's going to be important. Um, right, right, right. Any further questions? You can send a message, or you want to raise your hand. We can allow you to ask your question. All right, a couple of people here today. All right, okay. I think we are good. If there are no further questions, any other question or clarification, Dr. Sharam?
No, I would, I would advise, if you have any questions, now is your time. You can feel free to ask your questions, just message, or even just, turn on your phone or turn on your camera and just talk to us directly, so we can, or if you think about something, you can just always email us or text us, and we can hopefully have an answer for you.
All right, so thank you so much, and thanks for joining, and best of luck for you for this match. And it's a long road. Hopefully, this is the end of this with the new journey starting shortly, inshallah. So, all right, thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Sharam. You are always such a great help and resource for Mkana and beyond. Thank you so much for your time. I think, oh, I have a question. Um, Yasser, you want to come on? You want to just come on? I can read your question, but if you want to come on, yeah, I can let you
Yeah, uh, hello everyone. Thank you for the session. I have a question. I have few interviews from few program, one of which is new program with H1 visa sponsoring, and I have other program with G1 with and they also have fellowship, in-house fellowship.
Hmm.
So what should be in my mind, G1 or in-house fellowship?
Are you interested in doing any fellowship?
I do have some interest, but currently my main goal is to in
Get
residency.
matched, right? And
Yes.
how old is the program that you have
Uh,
the H1B?
it will be starting this year.
They have no experience with H1B before.
Yeah, they have no experience, but I asked from the program coordinator, and she mentioned that we will sponsor H1.
Do they have like a streamlined process? Do they know for sure they're going to sponsor H1B program?
I don't know this is a new program, but the program coordinator answered like this that we will sponsor H1, and they have also mentioned on the website.
Okay. And the J1 program that has in-house fellowships, the best program that you have on J1 that has in-house fellowships, is it like a renowned program and has good fellowship spots?
Yeah, they have. It's in West Virginia. Yes.
Okay. I would again, I'm a little skeptical about new program being able to offer H1B. To be honest, again, sometimes it happens that they say that we're going to do it, but they don't end up. They can't do it for some reason, and they're not legally bound to give you H1B program H1B just because they have said that they will do. Some of times it has happened that they were unable to do it. But again, it's if they're trying H1B is a good thing to have. But J1 is not the end of the world. If you have a very good program that has fellowship spots and you are interested in fellowships, I would consider that program probably more than the H1B program because again, that is a new program, doesn't have any, some of the programs could be really good, but usually they don't have they don't have reputation at all, right? So they have to make the reputation. But old program who has fellowship spots is, you have chance of getting matched into competitive fellowship there. And afterwards you can always, there are ways you can, of course everyone gets J1 afterwards and they get green card eventually. So my opinion again, if you really want to do fellowship, then I would do the H1 the J1 program that has good fellowship in house. But if you're okay and you want anything, then you should consider the H1B program more.
Oh, thank you for the answer. I have another question. I have another program which I am
Mhm.
ranking at my top list, and it's also sponsoring H1. So, and they also have in-house fellowship cardiology. So,
then
should
there's
I rank?
then there's no brainer. Then definitely, if has fellowship and as an H1B, then definitely you should go there.
Okay, thank you so much.
thanks for your questions, Yasser. Those were important questions. Anybody else has another question? You can raise your hand if you're interested. All right. I think we're good. Thank you for everybody joining again. Thanks to our guest. I won't say the guest. I think he spearheads most of these activities. So,
Dr.
so,
Khan, you've always been inspirational. So
thanks
it's
for joining.
it's
Yes.
it's more because of you than because of me. So
No, nothing
let's
much.
keep things real.
That's not. You're the boss. Anyways,
No, 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 no.
thank you so much. We'll talk to you guys later. Hopefully, best of luck for everybody. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you. Allah
Thank
Hafiz.
you. Thanks again.
Thank you, everybody.